Hi, thank you so much for connecting with us on OTT Play. It's a pleasure speaking to you too about the show Bestseller.
Thank you, Akila.
Thank you, Akila.
So I have seen the trailer and it looks really very interesting and a gripping thriller as well. And I believe it is inspired by the book, the bestseller that she wrote. So could you tell us what was it about the story that fascinated you so much that you decided to make a show out of it?
Yeah, so I think about 3 years ago, before the book was being published, Ravi Subramaniam and me met after my release of Hitchki, which I directed. And
Yeah.
we were talking that, okay, is there something we can make into a feature and all that kind of stuff. So he sent me his manuscript of Bestseller. That time, Bestseller had not even released, the book had not released. So I read the manuscript, and I'm a very slow reader, but I read it overnight and I couldn't put it down. And it was about 300 pages of a manuscript. And it takes me, when I read, it takes me like 25 pages a day because I have to see everything. I just can't read, I have to literally visualize. So that 300 pages, which I read literally in 6 hours, I had visualized it all. I'd seen it all. The only thing after reading it and we tried doing a film draft, we realized that the characters will not have enough justification. So the soul of the book will remain the same. Mithu Mathur's journey will remain the same. Why she's come, what she's come, what the bestseller entire trappings of the book are. But we'll have to add our own ethos and our own plot points. So if you compare the book to the series, there's a radical difference. I'm saying our series is 80% different from the book, except the soul of the book. Nothing of the book is there in the series. The backbone is bestseller she wrote, but bestseller is created by the writers and all of us put together because newer plots needed to come in. Mithun Das character is not there in the book. Lots of things are not there. So my request would be to all the people who are expecting the book, don't expect the book. Expect the soul of the book and expect a very, very thrilling and more entertaining a series which will compel you to binge watch it.
Okay. Mr. Mukul, would you like to add something and tell us more about the show as well?
In fact, the other day I got a pleasant surprise when the trailer got released, and I think one of the journalists, he clearly wrote that, hey, this looks very different than the book. So I was so happy that there was a journalist who had read the book and then he saw the trailer and he realized that there are very many different characters. When I got the script draft, I remember even asking Siddharth, should I read the book first? He said, no need, you just read the scripts and then let me know what you feel about it. It was an overwhelming experience for me. I know that, as he said, the soul, backbone, and the germ is the book, but the tree is way different than the book. I mean, what has come out of that seed is far more solid and colorful.
Okay, so have you read the book now, or
I haven't.
after
I'm
the
sorry,
series?
but
No.
that would be my
Okay.
first. I mean, it's a candid confession, but I'll be reading it now, so I know exactly what different, how much different have we gone.
Okay.
I know I'm telling you 85% to 90% almost different. It is that.
Yeah.
But because I actually myself physically wrote the screenplay of the film, and then I realized that no, this could be a lovely film, but it will not give justification to the characters. That's when I told Ravi that Ravi, I'm going to take the base, but I'm going to get in a writer. I'm going to get in a team of writers, and now build on it and add a lot of more plot, character, twists and turns. So don't expect your book to be the series. Of course, we've taken the idea from the book, so the credit will be the book because that's the root. That's what binds the show. That's the commonality. But yeah, I think what we've finally achieved between Amazon, the creative team at Amazon and us, is something far more satisfying because we are dealing with about 8 episodes of 30 minutes, 40 minutes each. You have to create that much of content.
Yeah. Okay. So, why did you decide to have Mr. Mukul as the director to for the series, and you didn't helm the project yourself?
I am with YRF actually. I'm directing. I directed Hitchki, and then
Yeah.
I'm directing something else for them. So I'm under contract. Uh,
Okay.
and second thing, even if I was allowed to direct, I would have not chosen myself to direct. It's only Mukul, because Mukul and me have worked 20 years. We worked on Koi Hai, we worked on other thrillers, we worked on an emotional thing. We know each other very well. I'm a huge fan of his film Missing. I think he did a
Yeah.
fantastic job in Missing with Tabu, and I can't create that. I'm not qualified as a maker to do what he does. Uh, I'm very good at emotion. I'm very good at love. Give me that. I'll do it. But this is a psychological thriller, an emotional thriller. Uh, so I've been there in every way to create support and be his backbone, to give him the wings to fly as a producer. But I wanted his vision, and so did everybody at Amazon want his vision, and that's what we stuck to. We stuck as one team because there's only one captain of the ship. So that's the reason I chose Mukul, because and there was nobody else. I knew it was him. I just hoped he would have said yes, and he did once he read the scripts.
Okay. So, what were the factors that you looked into to determine to make it a show, not a film? How did you decide on the format?
Um, as a film, because I don't know if you've read the book or if you've read the.
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this answer I can't give you, because the twist and turns will reveal the plot. The minute you'll understand that, you'll realize that as a film, this would have been only so much. It would have been a very good film. But as a series, this can be way more satisfying for a viewer. And this also has the potential to go into seasons. It can go into a season two, three, four. As a film, I'll have to limit it to plot, twist and turn in 2 hours, do a tight kahani type of, or that zone kind of narrative, and get out of it. I won't be able to move further and further and further. So because of that, I felt that, and even Aparna at Amazon, who's been a big supporter of this show, felt that give it a shot and see where it goes as a series. And when we did, we realized that yeah, it's actually giving us way more than we ever bargained for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Mukul, I believe this is your directorial debut when it comes to an OTT series, if I'm not wrong. So, did you have to bring in any changes in your process of working to be for this particular format?
Uh, uh, well, this could be on-screen debut, but the first experiment of this web series format happened way back in 2009 when there were no OTT platforms existing. And that was the time when me and Siddharth, we had produced a show called Director Special.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was conceptualized by him. He produced it, and I kind of wrote and directed the show. And it was exactly web series format. We had 12 episodes of 45 minutes each, and it was a very tricky partnership that we shared, because I was shooting in Himachal, he was in Bombay. There was no OTT platform, so it was shown on Sony television. Whatever I was sending down, Siddharth was editing here. So I could see my final product on screen, and it was exactly the way I had perceived it. So that those wavelengths, they always matched, be it any genre. And then since then I've been writing a lot. Of course, I did films, but the writing for web series was continuously on. So I also knew the challenges that web series offers. But when you read the scripts, you know that half of those challenges are already taken care of. So, as I said, I boarded the train halfway through, where lots of homework had already happened.
Okay. So how did you go about the casting? Did you always have Shruti and Arjun in your minds while scripting for headlining the show?
Uh, we always didn't have Shruti in mind or Arjun in mind. We had a bunch of people in mind. Uh, Luckily, one person who we had in mind, who we approached, things just didn't fall into place. And then when we were thinking of who do we approach next, that's when I thought of Shruti Hassan. I said, I've always liked her work. I've always liked her work. And I said, why not? Why not give it a shot and see if she would be able to want to bite herself into this, because she's not done any OTT. And she's an actor who's, according to me, she's an actor who's a director. She's a very, very smart and intelligent actor. She understands lighting. She's Kamal Hassan's daughter. She understands, all of it, and she's very professional. She comes, she does her job. She does not do chit chat on the set. She'll go back, read her book, and out. Um so yeah, I feel when we decided on Shruti and got her on board, then Mukul and me went and met her. Then we decided that okay, this character needs dialogue diction, because she belongs to a certain, in the show she belongs. When you're seeing the trailer, you would have seen, na? हम यहाँ से आ रहे हैं, हम
He
जा रहे
speaks a dialect. Yeah.
हैं. So we actually got a dialect coach. Mukul arranged for a dialect coach. Uh, so she's been in it with us. And that's how Shruti came on board. And I think today we share a very, very special bond and relationship. Uh, and that's what one thing I learned from Rani, that, you know, content and making and stories come and go. What you look back are the relationships and the memories that you had during shooting and after shooting, because that's what stays forever.
Yeah.
You're in touch with each other and you want to be in touch with each other and say, hey, we had a great time. Then you've really had your victory. You'll keep working together.
Okay.
So that was Shruti.
Yeah.
I always had in mind. We were thinking of a smaller cast. We were thinking of different names, and I popped up the idea of Mithun and said, "Why not Mithun Chakravarti?" They said, "Will you do it?" I said, "Na sunne mein kya burai hai? Sun to lo. Why, why don't we approach?" He said he would be outstanding, and I said, "I think he'll be very good, and he'll not say no. It's a very, very good role. It's
Yeah.
a very good script. Let me offer it to him." Also, my grandfather Premnath Ji, Bina Rai, my grandmother, my father's Prem Kishan, the actor. So they all know each other very well. I'm an industry kid, so I got in touch with him. He read the script. He loved it. He genuinely loved it. He and Mukul have a great equation. So it was a no-brainer.
Okay.
Omar was the first person I think I approached on this
Yeah.
show. Uh,
Who, sorry?
Omar Khan. Oh my,
Okay.
he was the first person we approached on this show. Uh, we didn't think of anybody else, and as the scripts kept coming, kept giving her the scripts, but she was on when she read episode one only. So I said, okay. As we kept writing them, we kept giving it to her, and she kept reading it with me. Um, and the others, of course, there was a process. For Satya, we actually tested about 170, 180 people. Couldn't find. Then Mukul and me found an audition which Kavish Sinha sent us. We were very excited. We found Parth that way. Arjun, I knew always that, okay, Amazon had come up with the idea. Why don't you look at Arjun? Arjun and me were in touch on and off. So I gave him a shot and said, this is a role which I feel really, really, because he was looking at something which puts him out there. And I think this is a show which if he's, and I believe he's given it's his all, will put him out there. Uh, so yeah, I mean, karte, everybody, Suchitra Pillai, everybody, Viraf Patel, everybody just
And
came up.
Sonali.
Kulkarni was great because at one point of time, Amazon said, "Karegi kya? Will she do it? She's such a big actor." Again, the same thing came and Mukul said, we must get Sonali." Like Mukul was like, "Sidhu, we have to get her." So I was like, okay, let's go for it. If you're believing in her, let's go for it. Wapas, na sunne mein kya burai hai, try to kar lo. We went again with that. We said, "Chalo, try karte hain." And we gave her the script. Same thing. She read it. She called back, said, "I'm on." She called my wife Sapna, who's the producer also. Uh, said, "I'm on." I called Mukul. I said, "Sonali's on." He said, "Kya baat kar rahe ho?" I said, "Yeah, she's on." and that's how she came on board. So I think the universe and destiny plays a part. It finds its characters and people who want to become part of a project. I've always believed that. When energies are good, it will show on your screen. When energies are bad, it will show on your screen. The camera just catches everything.
Right. Oh, okay. So this also marks the OTT debut of Mr. Mithun Chakraborty and actors like Ms. Sonali as well. So did you have to have a different process to introduce them to the medium first and the format, or how was it like?
No, they're actors.
Yeah.
They could be doing a
So
film for a phone. They could be doing a film for OTT, or they could be doing a feature film. They're actors. You give them a role, you give them a director who knows exactly how to guide them, and they're yours.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they just needed to be held, and which Mukul did brilliantly, and then they flew.
No, and just a line to add here, Mithun Dada never spoke about Bestseller as a web series. He always said, "Apna film kab aane wala hai." So for him, everything is film. So he said, "This is also 6 hour long film for me. I'm acting. So what is so different about that?"
For him, there's no debut. For him, a story is a story. I want to be part of this story, and I think this story will add value to me. तुम अभी debut बोलो या कुछ भी बोलो, वो for him, he's done 370 films. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
kids in.
So how was it like working with him on the sets? How was the energy like? I've heard a lot of stories. Would you be able to share some anecdotes as well about him?
I'll quickly say a couple of things.
Yeah.
Dada is 70 now. We had heard stories about he being a quick, he remembers his lines extremely well. Even today, while doing his makeup, he makes assistant read the lines once, and second time, he starts responding. So that one thing was absolutely amazing. Mithun Datta never let anybody feel that he is a big legend. Never ever. He's not many people know about it, but he speaks some 5 to 6 languages fluently, including Telugu. I mean, who would think that? So with different people on the set, with different technicians, he spoke in their own languages. And most important thing, what I loved about Dada and Shruti, they both stood to give cues even when they were not in frame. And that's a huge thing for established actors because they don't need to. Even we are not prepared. But सामने से बोले कि नहीं नहीं, we will stand here and we'll give cues. So those are the signs of really legendary actors. So thankful to all my 6 stars who did that.
Okay. And in the trailer, we also get to see a lot of locations. So I believe the show was shot over about 6 months in different locations, and that too during the pandemic. So how did you pull that off?
Well, I mean, first of all, even Siddharth was doing his own project simultaneously. So we both collectively had about 80 RT-PCR tests to fight the pandemic. Number two, this is during pandemic to shoot a show. I challenge, there is no other show which is shot on 80 different locations, and they're all real life locations. We don't have a single set. We shot in 4 different states, in Banaras, in Nimrana, that is Rajasthan, Uttarakhand. We shot in Mussoorie as well, as for the first time 9,000 feet above sea level. And then in Mumbai, when the world was again getting into shell during the second wave. Very difficult challenge for production, very difficult challenge for everybody. Overnight, the timings used to change. 7 o'clock shift became mandatory. Night had to be shot during day sometimes. Along with Sid, I have to mention one very key person, and that is the co-producer on the show. And I have to speak about him volumes, Mr. Raj Mehta. He was the father figure on the set. He was Siddharth's mama. So we also considered him as an uncle. I've never experienced somebody being on the set and taking care of you day and night. It suddenly changes the whole atmosphere of the set. We always had somebody looking after us. and that too during peak pandemic. Very challenging shoot, but that's why I think it became so endearing.
Okay. And OTT is often described as a game changer for actors and filmmakers, especially the new actors and makers. So, both of you, could you share a piece of advice that you would like to give to the budding filmmakers?
The only advice I will give to any budding filmmakers is don't fall for formula. Be honest to what you want to say, and narrate a story that's you. OTT is letting you be original.
Yeah.
Try and duplicate somebody else's work, and figure out and sell what works or what you see has worked, because what you see has worked may not work tomorrow, may not work day after. So go with your own individuality, because that's what you know best, and that will help you shine. And that may be for an actor, that may be for any technician. Because if you're good at your job, you'll get another job. You'll be noticed. It's giving you that platform. But if you're going to do a Me Too of some other actor or some other Me Too, not in the Me Too sense, but
Mm.
version of some other maker or actor, then you're going to say, hey, that original maker is available. Why not go to him? So yeah.
And Mr. Mukul?
Yeah, basically, as he rightly said, everything that clicks usually has something very unique about it. It has nothing to do with the formula. So just try that unique side within you and pursue that. That's the formula to crack the web, and that's the formula. That's what everybody wants to see. The unseen, unheard. People want to hear that. People want to see that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for connecting with us on OTT Play. It's a pleasure speaking to you too, and all the best for the show.
Thank you, Akila.
Thanks, Atan. Bye, Akila.
Thank you.